Battle of the Challenges, Episode 1, the pilot, with Vincent Cloud.
And Matt McMahon.
We're here to discuss...
DJ Matty Nice. Even though I'm going to go on the record and say that I am a diehard Johnny Bananas fan.
Diehard? Already?
But I still thought that elimination between CT and Johnny was somewhat of a BS elimination. Not even the fact that it was a puzzle, but the fact that it was those two in the elimination.
Really?
Because it was the luck of the draw. Johnny Riley skates through the entire thing on free agents.
Yes.
I mean, never going into a dome simply because luck of the draw.
A dome?
Or not the dome.
No, it doesn't matter. They didn't call it anything. I think it was just the draw.
The draw, yeah.
Or the elimination.
The elimination.
Something like that,
yeah.
I feel that it was a strange karma game. Because did you notice that Bananas went against people, like, at least twice, that were literally out to get him? Jordan. CT.
Yep. In this last season, it seems like...
And we're talking
Bananas,
free agents.
Yeah, and free agents. It seems like Bananas and CT had kind of mellowed over whatever animosity they'd had before prior.
They've been doing this for fucking years. Everyone else comes and goes or whatever, but they're there, and it's now a mutual respect. Bananas compares it to, what was it, the Cold War, where, like, basically one, these people have their finger on the button for the nukes, and so do the other guys, and they're like, they're at a stalemate, and that's how he considers his relations with CT.
Yeah.
However, I would want to call bullshit, because he was saying, after he said all that, he's like, why should we even call each other out anymore? And I'm like, you called him out on free agents.
But
I could have, yes, no, there's a great reasoning.
Well, I was gonna say, I think it was for Rivals 2.
Right.
First episode.
Yeah.
First elimination.
Yes.
CT is talking. Let's throw Johnny Bananas in the elimination. Let's just shake things up a little bit. I don't think he quite forgot that. And from a playing standpoint, at the end, he's getting down to the end. He doesn't know how Johnny Riley is going to do. The guy's a rookie, so probably fairly confident that he can take him. Zach's a bigger guy. If it's a longer endurance-based final, he's probably thinking he can take them. He's seen CT in two finals almost smoke show him in Exes until he gassed out right near the end.
Yes.
And in Rivals 2, where they smoked him big time. CT and West smoked,
It didn't come down to the endurance that time.
But because it was a little bit shorter of a final compared to the other ones.
But that's what I liked about it. I could go on and on about how I thought that the Rivals 2 finale was light years beyond Free Agents finale. That's some hyperbole, light years beyond. I didn't mean that, but it was definitely just creatively, all that shit. Visually, it was way more interesting than the Free Agents finale. Going back to when Bananas had the choice to either throw in CT or Zach, sure, he was getting revenge on CT. It's just
I don't even know if it was revenge. I think it's just he knows that CT can go in a final. I mean, he can. He's a veteran. He knows what to expect. I guess Zach, to a point, he won. They won seasons.
You gave me a list.
Do we have that list?
Bananas and Nani
had a year and a half fling. Apparently.
When, though? Like before or after Free Agents?
Before Free Agents.
Oh, really?
Because now he's with Hannah Teeter, the gold medal winning
oh my god.
snowboarder.
This is what I said about Bananas before. Bananas to me was always the guy, like the third brother in the JEK alliance.
He was.
He was always just like, no, I'm just as cool as Evan. I'm just as classic as, Kenny. I'm as iconic as anybody. And everyone was like, yeah, whatever. They acknowledged him because he was part of their alliance.
I think he was closer to Kenny than Evan. I think Evan kind of had a take it or leave it kind of attitude in some of the seasons with Johnny. Yeah. Whereas I think with Kenny, he was a person.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like I said before, going back to Gauntlet 3, Bananas didn't trust Evan after that for a long time.
What season did I just watch? Those three were on it. The Ruins.
Yes.
And basically,
yes.
Evan didn't care if Johnny got a look. It didn't seem like he did. Maybe it was the edit, from MTV.
Yeah.
But it did not seem like he cared if Johnny was gone or not. It was him for the 90th percent, and then 10% maybe, Kenny on the side. And Johnny played for himself that season pretty well, too. And I'm going off a diversion.
No, go right
when
ahead.
He convinced Cyrus to go in instead of him.
Oh my gosh, yes. He's like, you're a little broken down or whatever. You should go in. And he's like, Cyrus is like, I assume that, if I go in once, it's up to everyone else or whatever. But then he's like, I guess. Hey, holy shit, jumping back to the third brother. He's always been like, no, I'm just as important or whatever, And everyone's like, no. And he's like, no, fuck you, I am. He wins Rivals, and you're like, holy shit, he's like relevant. He did win again. Him and Tyler, they did win. So you're just like, well, all right. I wanted Kenny and Wes to win. That seemed like the logical conclusion to the story, or whatever.
Because
they
were the most hated enemies on that season.
Didn't it seem to make sense? Had Kenny and Wes won Rivals 1, it would have been like, holy shit, that's awesome. That's a whole storyline kind of wrapped up and whatever. But Bananas wins it, and we're left with Kenny and Wes still hating each other. So in the end, that's still kind of cool, though. The fact that Kenny was like, oh, you fucking suck. You're such a...
I love how he went off.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
TJ wasn't around. Did you notice that? Because he was at the bottom of the mountain. So it was just cameramen. So that's why Kenny didn't give a shit. He's like, fuck you. And, bring us back, Matt.
All right, back to casting. Sorry, we got off from casting.
No. It's going to be a circle again. Bananas and Nani. What can we say about Nani? She was a good competitor. I don't think
she surprised me on the final.
If she works out, she can be good now.
I feel like she would. Yeah, she's already and this is gonna come off the wrong way. How it is? She seems like an athletic girl. If she, naturally, like Laurel.
How is
just
that a negative way? As in she's built for speed.
I was gonna phrase it. Not husky. She's not husky. She's a very beautiful lady. She's got a good body. And if she worked out and didn't smoke and drink all the time, I guess I'm not good with words. If she didn't smoke and drink, she would be. And she came within 9 minutes.
9 minutes, yes. Yeah, Free Agents finale within 9 minutes. That could have been her bitching on the bike. That could have been her being scared by the spider. That could have been any of that stuff if she were to only apply herself.
But then again, Laura was held back by Zach.
Yeah, that's right.
There was no female team held back by the male member, except Zach holding Laura back.
Let's compare Nani to Camilla, who he won with Battle of the Exes 1. Camilla's superior to Nani.
Easily.
I honestly feel that way. But if Nani applies herself, who knows? Maybe Bananas could get another fucking win. Okay, this is what I gotta say about Bananas and Nani. No, this is what I gotta say about Bananas winning Free Agents. The fact that he won Free Agents, and Free Agents was supposed to be basically the dual three. The season, I don't know if you know this, but this is the season that everyone wanted, but was given something else.
And poorly executed, in my opinion.
Yeah? You feel that way?
The draw was...
Really?
I admit it added tension in the household, just from listening to the cast members.
Yeah.
But it didn't... some people skated by... Which I guess happens in any challenge, but that's usually due to gameplay, politics, or physical, thing.
Yeah.
Look at Leroy. His whole strategy of Free Agents was...
Oh my gosh.
Getting by on...
Leroy, Rivals 1, I was like, holy shit, thank God he's here. He's like a totally new person for the challenge, and, sure, he got third place in the final, but holy fuck, he's going to be one of our new champions. He's going to be the next 2-time champion, 3-time champion. But I've slowly seen him slide down my appreciation scale. He doesn't apply himself enough. Physically, he doesn't apply himself enough politically. what he does is literally slide on everything. He keeps things casual, he keeps things funny, but he's never actually like politicking.
I think that's his strategy. He tries to get along with everybody in the household. You don't hear him getting called out a lot going into eliminations.
Except by Wes. If you sleep with Teresa or
yeah,
any of his exes,
yeah. I'm just saying I think that's his game for the politics wise. He knows he's pretty decent physically.
Yeah.
But he just doesn't apply himself, and I don't know. I mean, he went against CT in free agents. That was just
yes.
The problem of your strategy of going into the draw is you don't know.
So after a while, you're just like, cool, the draw, anyone could go in. That was proven with Frank going in twice. That was cool. I was like, holy shit, Frank, he never, like Battle of Seasons, he avoided all elimination rounds until the very last elimination round. Then he went in. And with Rivals, too, he didn't go in at all.
Thanks to his partner.
Yeah.
And the alliance that he had with.
Yes. But in this one, he's thrown in right there. You're like, holy shit, Frank, what do you got? And he's like, well, I'm fucking sick. I'm about to get kicked off in episode 3, but I can take down these 2 guys, Dustin and Jessica. Dustin is a finalist from Battle of the Seasons. I feel like he was really good in Battle of the Seasons. But you know what? He was voted into the elimination in free agents. He was taken out by Frank.
Who's a beast.
It was what it was. Like, one of them was going to win. Like Frank beat Dustin by like a second. It was like tink tink like that. I still feel like Dustin's a really good competitor. And the fact that he's with Jessica, who's like, oh my god. First of all, she's fucking hot.
Way
hot.
Like,
the way her body is just built, like, you can just tell that she's been working out. On top of the fact that she has a great body anyways. Oh, shit. And so many people, like, a lot of girls hated her, I realized. Like real life girls that would watch the show, they were like, oh, fuck her and shit like that.
Do you think it's because she's so pretty?
I think so, yeah. Why not? Like, that's the only, like, when I can't figure out why a girl would hate another girl, I was like, oh, I know why. It's usually that.
Yeah, I sometimes would agree.
Yeah. It's kind of sad how it sometimes could all be reduced to that.
Powerhouse team?
Something so
team
shallow.
To watch out for?
Yeah. I said Jessica was going to be a top 3 girls. I'm going to say it again. Dustin and Jessica, top 3.
Wow.
If they can do the politics, because Dustin didn't do the politics, he was voted in, which means nobody liked him.
Right.
So
Jessica managed to stay under the radar for most of free agents. Besides her fight with Jordan.
No, she wasn't. She didn't stay under the radar. She won a lot.
Well,
she won,
her team won 5 times. I'm not saying that she was good or bad. Has no negative inferences on it.
It sounds like you're part of that same camp of like, oh, she's just a luck charm. I disagree. When she got across that rolling log in the very first episode of Free Agents,
impressed with that.
She got second place with Leroy in the second challenge, the driving and the biking.
Yep. Beat
out by Laurel and Kata. She won the episode 3. Episode 4 challenge was the ball thing. I believe she won that one as well. She was the only chick to win like 5 missions.
The only one, yeah. She did really well in the daily challenges. Elimination round comes around, and
she basically took Kara's hand from her. Took the challenge away from her. Do you remember that fight between her and Kara in that elimination round? How close it was and how, like...
It was just a brutal fight. And I don't think a lot of people expected her to do as well against Kara. Because Kara was a rip show. I mean, there was the cutscene, one of the dailies where she was running around the house celebrating one of her victories.
Yeah.
Butt-ass naked. And she was absolutely ripped.
Yeah. If she wasn't wearing, like, any panties or anything, I wouldn't have looked at her cooch. I would have looked at her fucking arms and her shoulders and her back.
Is it bad that I was looking at her arms and shoulders? Because I was in awe of it. Like,
I felt like they should have blurred that part out. Yeah.
All right.
Let's go to Wes and Teresa. There we go. Now, I like Wes, but I will say this. I am shocked that he came back.
I'm shocked, too.
Yeah.
After everything, and after going out on a high note of winning,
Exactly.
on winning Rivals too,
Yes.
So.
And there's also the fact that he's been slowly losing his muscle mass since his defeat in Rivals 1, and he's been getting eliminated earlier and earlier. And the fact that he was teamed up with CT, it's like, okay, you're teamed up, like, Wes, you're great, CT is great, that, like, you're set pretty much. Just don't come in last, but to come back again, they're like, you gotta be like, Wes, we're not gonna give you CT again. We're probably not even, like, he had Mandy on Exes. I think that Mandy was better than Teresa. I don't think Teresa's that great.
I know you are not a fan of Teresa. I've never seen her display anything that was great. Nothing that was horrible either. I don't think
she's good television, as in, like, how fucking snaky she was. How much of a snake she was with Laurel and the voting and stuff. So, I mean, that's interesting. But I was so glad that she was eliminated in that final draw. And to have her come back again, but with Wes, it's like, okay, well, clearly you want to get the most despised people together. So that's good television. What if they put Wes in episode 1 again?
Teresa
in elimination.
Wes said that at one point, he said he felt like he could never win another challenge because he's pissed off so many people over the course of his challenge career. And I think his only saving grace in this one, maybe, is that he's with Teresa, who gets along with Bananas pretty well.
But Bananas has never,
hates Wes. They legitimately hate each other, those two.
There's no respect there. They worked together begrudgingly on Rivals 1, but you saw Wes saying, hey, put Bananas in against CT at the end of Rivals 1. And Bananas like, oh, fuck you, and shit like that. As soon as Wes isn't with Kenny, Battle of the Exes 1, Bananas like, no, fuck you. We weren't friends ever on Rivals 1. And, like, you were goddamn lucky. Again, he was lucky in Rivals 2. Wes decides to come back. He's with Teresa. Sure, that could work, but Bananas has screwed over he screwed over Camilla. He won with Camilla. He was an ex with Camilla. He doesn't give a shit. He screwed over Paula.
It's what self-serves him the best, and he's out to win. And that's my biggest contention is why I think humanity has to go out the window at a certain point when you're trying to win one of these games. Look how the game has evolved over the years. It's not just people being friends. It's who's got the strategy to win. Who's willing to sacrifice, your morals to try to win. Yeah. Are you there to win, or are you there to keep your friends? Because you can't have both. I feel like you can't have both. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way.
I agree. And this kind of goes back to Wes. I believe that Wes is proud that he won twice. Do I think that he wants to win just as bad as Bananas does? No. Bananas, this is now his fucking livelihood, Yeah, Wes, on the other hand, he has, businesses and shit. He actually has money. He comes on this shit for fun. His ego exploded winning the Duel 1. He's been coasting on that shit for years because it is cool. Because he beat Evan, Kenny, Bananas, Brad, CT,
Tyler, a loaded cast.
Yeah, all those guys. So he could sit there and be like, no, I beat all you guys before, so it doesn't matter. Bananas will always have a better chance of winning than Wes just because Bananas wants it more. He actually, that's important. It's life and death with Bananas.
That's his money. That's how he makes his living.
Let's go to Zach and Janae.
Interesting team.
Zach, who was Rookie of the Year, rivaling only Frank, his partner, in Battle of the Seasons 1. He was the next CT. He was kind of an Evan. This was a guy who was basically, he grew up watching the challenges and consuming steroids at the same time, man. He was just like, one day I shall get there. Rivals 2 comes along, and he dominates the first 2 missions. Remember that? Mm-hmm. Him and Trey?
Yep.
I felt like he was going to be in that final no matter what, but he DQ'd himself in the heat of passion or whatever.
And melted down.
Whatever you want to call it. Yeah, melted down. So he's out of the game, and you're just like, holy shit. But had he not DQ'd, Zach would have gotten to the final, and he would have won. Cut to free agents, and he does really good in the missions. He does really good in the missions.
Elimination round that he was in.
He steamrolled. What's his
Brandon.
Brandon, who like he should just retire now. Like I feel so bad for that guy.
I feel like he would have been a good competitor, but he just did not play any house politics whatsoever.
Exactly. He's always just gonna be like, oh, what the fuck? Why am I getting fucked over? It's because you gotta play aggressive too, Brandon. Anyway, so Zach gets to the final. Everyone saw. Well, let's just say that. Yeah, everyone saw the free agents finale. The world saw it, and Zach looked like a. Oh my gosh, he was. I feel like he erased whatever bad taste Wes had, what Wes left in his Rivals 1 performance.
When he got carried up the mountain by Kenny. My take on Zach, obviously a physical specimen, but I don't think his mind is maybe it'll, he got first season, everything went right for those guys.
Yeah.
Minus him almost losing in an elimination round.
Against CJ.
Which was an epic elimination round. But I think he came on, he won right away. I think he expected things to be easier, and the conditions of the house being bad. Remember, he had the meltdown in, was that Rivals?
Yeah, that was Rivals 2.
He had the meltdown. He had a meltdown during one of the challenges on free agents. Where he said, get me out of here, and then he split open the saran wrap.
Yeah.
I just think he's not as mentally strong as some of the other competitors.
As he is physically.
As he is physically strong. I'm not saying he's stupid, because obviously,
he was saying he was cramping up. He was saying that the elevation was so high that the air was thin, no oxygen getting to his muscles.
But you don't think anybody else was getting those cramps? Devin, who never works out, Devin climbing the mountain, she wasn't whining as much. She just plodded along and did what she had to do. Obviously, they knew she wasn't going to do that well.
Now, I've had a cramp in my foot, and that hurts. I've once yawned weird and had a cramp.
I've had that happen a lot because I don't drink plenty
in your jaw.
Yeah.
It doesn't that hurt, and it's scary and everything else.
Yeah, but at the same time, he's an athlete. Cramps happen. Of all those long ass finals, how many people push through it to keep on fighting? Johnny Bananas is 31, 32 years old.
33, something like that.
On the decline in his physical state.
Mm-hmm. And Zach, I want to say he's 25. Yeah.
So I just think it comes down to mental toughness. Being in the Army, I knew guys that I was in the Army with, big, strong guys. And you'd be doing rough marches or, stuff, physically strenuous stuff, or mentally taxing stuff when we were deployed overseas. Guys that were just just checking out mentally.
Really? Yeah.
It's not always, and that's in competition stuff, look at the NFL. It's not always the big guys that win. There's people that are physically talented that are going to do good no matter what, just because they were born physically talented, they work really hard. Yeah. But some people have that mental toughness. Think Rudy, no physical talents whatsoever.
Never seen it.
But I'm just saying, I think that's Zach's problem. I think he got spoiled this first season because things went very well for that team. They pretty much ran the whole show.
Well, they had their own alliance. They came in and they're like, hey, we watched all these shows. Zach's like, I want to be like, CT and Evan. And Frank's like, yeah, well, I want to be like Wes. He seemed like a Wes to me.
Yeah, I could see that. And now legitimacy of getting him in a final.
Yeah, exactly.
I think...
so imagine all that happening while John A is there shaking like a fucking wet
chihuahua. You're looking at these guys that are strategizing politically. I don't want to see Zach in an elimination round. Nobody wants to see Zach in an elimination round. I don't think CT would just... I don't know. I think that would be an epic elimination round. Yeah. Maybe, especially when CT was in his prime. But... they bring him to the final, and what's the chances of him copping out again if it's one of those long finals? What's the incentive for them to try to throw him, unless they have an opportunity to throw him in against another strong?
He could go to the finals again.
And I think his political game was based on a lot with Frank in Seasons, because I feel like Frank was the political mastermind of a lot of that.
And I want to say that with Janae now in the mix, I mean, they had a relationship in Battle of Seasons. I was like, I don't care. Like, I don't care about this relationship.
She always has a man. But anyways, Janae's did pretty well in her first season.
Her first season of Battle. Wait, do you know?
Rivals.
Yeah.
And
Rivals.
with Johnny or with Jasmine
of all people. She did. What was it? Battle of Seasons. She was Team Cancun, and Team Cancun won a lot before that. I do remember that. She's a good competitor, actually. It's just that I've seen her so many times, and she doesn't win. But that's no reason to write her off. So Zach and Janae.
And let's look at her elimination record.
Yes.
She lost to Anissa in free agents.
Oh, gross. Yeah, that's not. You don't want to lose to Anissa.
But Anissa, you don't want to. But it was a wall climb, and Anissa's one punch zingers through the wall because she's a power lifter.
Jordan and Sarah.
Sarah, what's your take on her?
Sarah, her very first challenge was the Ruins. She did very well, but then her ego just got so big after that. She was annoying in Fresh Meat 2. Thank God she got eliminated like second. She came back for Cutthroat. Again, she gets to the end, but she's like fucking ragging on Cara the whole time.
And then she ended up...
And then, she ended up fucking throwing... Oh, you finished Cutthroat, huh?
I did.
You did?
Yes.
You like it?
Yes, I did.
Yeah?
Yeah, that was pretty good.
How'd you like CT and Bananas?
Bogus.
I mean, that's fucking...
Bogus.
You didn't like it?
I didn't like it. I thought they should have gone against each other, at least to see, I'm guessing Tyler probably would have won because he was...
Oh, I was just talking about the sheer spectacle of the whole thing, of CT carrying Bananas on his fucking back.
It sucked. It was embarrassing. But at least he handled it with humility. He's just like, oh, that's... What was
you
his...
were a true Bananas fan. Holy shit.
But,
wow.
But he did handle it with a lot of humility.
Okay, so Sarah... Yeah, she fucking talking all this shit again. She was talking shit on Fresh Meat 2 after the Ruins. So now she's on Cutthroat, and she's like, I only want A grade students in my team or some bullshit, And she was fucking throwing up and all that stuff. I was like, yeah, of course, Like that's...
She was talking about how Cara Maria wasn't going to cut it.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
then her and Abram both
Yeah.
get heat stroke and
Yeah.
out they go.
But you know what? Somehow I forgave Abram and not Sarah. I don't know why.
It sounded like Abram was talking a big game before it. He wasn't. He was like, I think she'll do better than you. And she did.
Yeah.
And he never said he was the best. He just took leadership of the team, and any team would need leadership.
And it's not like Sarah could lead shit, or Luke, or Cara, or Laurel.
Right. Exactly.
Laurel's too me.
Yeah.
Abe's like, yeah, me, but also you guys.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do this alone. So yeah, she fucking throws up and is taken to the ambulance in Cutthroat. Comes back for Rivals 1.
DQ.
Has terrible Caitlyn with her. I kind of felt bad for Sarah, but at the same time, all Sarah did was say, like, oh, it's all her fault and shit. And, remember, Jonna and Jasmine pitted against Sarah and Caitlyn in a puzzle elimination round. And Sarah's like, if we win this, excuse me, when we win this. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Right before it was all going down, I'm like, and sure enough, eliminated. Whew, that was good. She comes back again, Battle of the Exes.
Sarah is with Vinny.
Vinny is with Child, he looks like. It's pretty heavy. But you know what? Even if he had that child, he's still out drinking, he's still at the bar. And when he's at the bar, he's with Mandy. Fucking yanks the string. The whole thing falls apart, her so-called shirt. Tits are revealed, and Wes is kind of pissed, but not pissed enough to actually confront Vinny that night. Vinny is eventually DQ'd. They're like, Sarah, sorry, you don't have any more exes. Learn to spread it around a little bit more. So she leaves. Comes back, Battle of the Seasons. Now, she's got Brooklyn as her team. Her, Chet, which were basically the best people on there.
Mm-hmm.
And then JD and Devin. Capital on Devin, because basically she lost the final for Sarah. Sarah and her team, they get to the final, but they end up getting third place. They take money, and I'm pretty sure Sarah's like, fuck, had I not had these people, I would have done a lot better. Basically what she's been saying forever.
Does she have a legitimate viewpoint, though?
About them being bad?
About having bad partners in the end.
Was Vinny a bad partner in Freshman 2? Lost fair and square. Cutthroat, she was the weak link. Rivals 1, yeah, she was kind of screwed over, but she lost on an elimination where she claimed to be the best. That's the thing. Yep. That's the thing.
Against a rookie team.
Battle of the Exes, yeah, that sucked. Because they won episode 2.
They were gonna be the power couple.
Yep, power couple.
And then,
yeah, she got screwed. I'm sorry, Sarah. Rivals 2, Sarah and Trishelle. What happened, Matt?
Trishelle melts down. Screw this, and I'm quitting.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
And once again, Sarah is DQ'd because she don't have any rivals for her.
Yeah, and she leaves again. Once again.
Yeah. So this is the first time seeing her back since Rivals 2?
Yeah. Even though Free Agents, the season beforehand,
would have been
the ideal thing.
Tailor-made. Maybe she declined. I'm not sure exactly why.
Who knows? Maybe she was like, maybe after that she's like, it doesn't matter what they call me about next one. I'm just going to sit this one out. Because she did, how many challenges we just name in a row? She was like, no matter what. And then the producer's like, no, Sarah.
Jordan. Yeah, and Jordan.
Yeah, so Sarah's with
Breakout
Jordan.
rookie campaign and Rivals 2.
Rivals 2. I was also a fan. I was like, holy shit, Jordan's like one of those just new talents. Like, it's going to be fucking cool. Like, I was excited. Cut to Free Agents, and I was slow to notice it. When you rewatch that season again, you'll notice that Jordan fails at a lot of stuff.
He failed at a lot of the missions. He didn't make it across the bridge. Or across the
He didn't make it across the log.
The log, yep.
He did fail in the bar crawl challenge. He dropped that bar.
Yep.
And this is something I wanted to say.
Oh, I was just going to say how cocky he was acting about it. Flipping it and stuff like that when he could have just calmly taken it out, put it in, he was trying...
That's a good point, but I also want to point this out as well. Jordan goes up there. This is the bar challenge. I don't know. It's basically elevated over the water, and you have to take out this bar. You've seen the challenge.
Yes.
And it's just Jordan and Jasmine and Johnny on the other side. Yeah, he's got one hand, and he's like, no, I want to compete. And yeah, that's admirable. So he's competing, and this is his non-hand, his left hand.
Yep.
So he grabs the bar with his nub hand. He passes it to his right hand, which is the fully realized hand, and then he places it in there. That's the whole thing, right? And you're just like, holy shit, he's doing all that with only one hand. And he's being cocky. He's like throwing it up, catching it and stuff. He drops it with his good hand.
I didn't
because when he's crossing the bar, he's
going
this
left
direction.
To right, left to right.
Exactly. Yeah. He drops it with his good hand. That had nothing to do with him having one hand. Cut to episode 4. He's okay, but remember he needed help for Preston in that bumper ball bubble challenge. We could even write that off. But the next one, he falls on the rope challenge again. Yeah, like he fails again.
Well, granted, CT,
a lot of
bananas,
people failed. A lot of people failed.
Some of the higher profile.
But so did he.
Yep.
And he still thought he was the god amongst men there. He thought he was better than CT. He thought he was better than Bananas. He thought he was the shit because of Rivals 2. I thought so too. I was like, holy fuck. But he kept on failing all the shit. So we get to he goes into elimination round on episode 6 of Free Agents against Swift.
Swift's a pushover. Wallpaper. Yeah. Self-proclaimed best person. Yeah, top 3, was it? Top 3 people?
Easily top 3. Jesus Christ. So he takes him out, but he wants to take out Bananas.
And his own alliance lets him do it. They talk him into it.
Well, he mentions it, and then they're like, "You should do it." They're just like, "No, you should." You know, they
because
don't
to
really...
them, they're thinking, well, it's not me. If somebody's flipping over all these cards, it's not a chance of me getting in there to get taken out or potential of getting taken out. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, Laurel, even his own squeeze, because that's how. But that's the thing. That's how Laurel is. She's just so like. She's a man in a woman's body. She's like. Yeah. Well, basically, don't be a pussy. Put your money where your mouth is. Take them out.
I'm not saying like Laurel isn't feminine. I think she's rather striking.
She's very good looking.
Yeah, she's very good looking. She could be girly or whatever. But for the most part, I feel like in terms of competition, she handles it like a dude.
Yep.
Or not just a dude, just anyone. Like, she handles it like bananas. Just like, this is about money. This is like competition. People will fall away. But I will get to the end, hopefully.
And even he said that he wanted her to talk him out of it. He wishes she would have talked him out of it. But you picked the wrong... Every other chick in a romantic relationship would be like, don't do it, don't do it. But you picked Laurel, who's the ultimate alpha female. Alright. Anyways, fights with bananas all season.
Flips over all the cards, seeks bananas out for a fan. I was like, holy shit,
this is cool.
Awesome. Like, this is fucking cool. In a way, I gotta admit, I kind of wanted Bananas to fail. If he would have gotten knocked out, that would have tarnished his reputation. After Rivals 2, people were like, "Oh, Bananas is done." Yeah,
because he was so out of shape. He was so out of shape.
It really came down to that match point moment between him and Jordan, and that elimination round is one of those fast ones. Like they edited it where it's like, oh, it takes about 40 seconds to get up there, 30 seconds, but it looks like it takes about 13 seconds. It's like bam, bam, climb up, bam, 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 climb up, bam, bam, and then you ring the bell. It's that quick.
But that's where he had the edge in it, where, the mental edge, where he's been in elimination rounds, a lot of elimination rounds. He's not always won, but that, he knows what to expect going in there. And Jordan fell. Plain and simple, Yeah. He was in such a hurry. And he panicked when Bananas got a little bit ahead of him. And he
Let's not let this moment skate by just because we're talking about him in the elimination round now. How he got there, that episode's mission was where they're wrapped up in plastic wrap.
Plastic wrap, yeah.
And they're rolling through it or whatever. He was in the bottom 3 with Leroy and Preston. Leroy was going to throw it pretty much anyways. I mean, it was a good chance.
He stopped. He didn't even go right away. He's like, I want to be in the draw.
And Jordan, he couldn't get far. He's like, and he even said, he's like, why should I try so hard when I already see my 2 best friends already in the lead?
Yeah.
And he was doing terrible. Again. Yep. That's why I was like, leading up to the elimination round, I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, if he beats Bananas, that's awesome. But all these stats were closing in on my mind, and the fact that he was like, I hope Laurel says don't do it. I was like, no, that means you have doubt. You're fucked.
Yep, he had doubt.
Because Bananas not.
He didn't have doubt.
Yeah, exactly.
He was angry. He was pissed.
Jordan, he calls out basically the biggest competitor the challenge has ever had, loses. I mean, do you call him a chump, or do you like, hey man,
chump.
Try?
I say chump. Really? You look at it, and the goal is to win. That's how when I go to a game, I don't go to a game to go and have fun like some of these people. I'm like the people that go there to strategize, win. I don't have fun. I don't have fun in sports. I want to win, and if I don't win, I'm not having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my mindset. So I can't look at an opposing mindset. Because I haven't lived in those shoes of like somebody that goes and does stuff for, like if you go play volleyball, like on an intramural team and people are just having fun hitting the ball over. I want to bump set spike. I want to I want to crush the other team.
Yeah,
like that's what I. So in me thinking that's a chump. Because what's the whole goal? You don't want to go into elimination rounds because there's a chance
you're supposed to avoid it.
Right. I mean, some people don't respect that strategy, but it is a legitimate. I mean, that's a lot of the game.
Concern. Yeah. Despite strategy, it's like, hey, you know what? You really don't know. Like you can go in there and you can come out 3 times the victor and then get taken out at the very end, like Kara.
Mm-hmm. Anyway.
So that's why he gets the stamp chump on his forehead.
To me. I don't know about you. I mean, some people might look at the Admirable and say, hey, you know what, I'm setting out what I said I was going to do.
I feel like that was so cool, and it was almost like the set piece, the main set piece of the entire Free Agents thing. Because really, like, was there any drama after all that?
Nothing.
And before that, nothing.
Just the Laura and Cara Maria fight.
Yeah. Oh no, that's right. No, that was a good one. Yeah. I don't want to shortchange.
Anyways, should we go on to the next cast member?
Yeah. So Jordan's fucking done. Yeah, Leroy and Hurricane Nia. Nia's pretty hot, and I feel like she could be a good competitor. But I feel like Leroy, I don't know. I lost all respect.
He just doesn't try. He doesn't care.
He's physical, but he's a big physical specimen. But you know what? So was Dunbar. You know, but at least Dunbar did form alliances. You know, and he got far that way.
Leroy's strategy is to go into the house, be friends with everyone.
Yeah.
Be the funny guy that nobody wants to throw in. So, holding out hope for Leroy to assert himself finally.
I mean, why would he start now?
Yeah.
Why would he start now? He just doesn't seem to have learned his lesson from other previous tries.
If you're winning challenges, you're safe.
Yeah.
So why not try?
Nia, we didn't really see too much of her. She won episode 1, but that was like a big team thing. She's hot.
Yeah.
She's black. And she beats people up. She actually beat up Johnny and Avery. Like, that's why they called her Hurricane Nia, I believe.
Really?
Yeah, I think. I don't know.
And then her first outing against Cara Maria, the Rip Show Cara Maria.
Yeah, and that was without padding. That first time, wasn't it an hour?
Over an hour, yeah.
Something like that. So those two together, they could be physically good. But
politically,
especially
especially given the circumstances,
she might try a little bit harder.
At odds against the Boston Alliance.
Yeah. Forward is the Knight and Jemmy. Knight and Jemmy, they were together before Battle of Seasons. We saw how that played out. I mean, Knight and Jemmy is gonna be Knight and Preston. Maybe a little bit better, I think.
Yeah.
If
they only made it far based on political connections. Let's be honest.
Yes.
And Knight and Jemmy, possible alliance with. Well, I know him and CT were buds, but CT's no longer there.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Maybe
Knight and Zach are good friends.
Are they?
Knight and Zach. Yeah, that'll help them. I was thinking about this the other day. I think. Okay, you know that Knight hit Frank, right? Once at the reunion.
I saw the reunion. He slapped him. Yeah.
Yeah, I never saw it, but I know that's what he did.
Because Knight on Seasons was talking a lot of crap about Jemmy, or no, on Rivals 2.
Frank was.
Or Frank was. Yes, I'm sorry, Frank, and he must have saw it after the season and didn't take too kindly to it.
Yeah, he's like, and this oxycodone isn't kicking in yet, so he goes in there and he fucking slaps Frank. When that happened, though, and this is what I'm getting back with Knight. So Knight is basically, Frank's like, hey, if I'm on Free Agents, Knight better not be there. You know, that's kind of understandable. And maybe the producer's like, well, you can't be on the next challenge because you hit someone on the reunion and it was live. So I, for some reason, feel like Johnny Riley of Free Agents was basically Knight. Imagine it. Knight never flips that card. Could you just imagine that?
Yeah, I could see him doing skate.
Like everyone's like, oh fucking Knight, you know. But I like Knight. I would have preferred Knight be in Johnny's position, you know, because Johnny was kind of boring. He was just a dude. He was, you know, he wasn't an asshole or a good guy or anything. He was just a guy, you know. Replace him with Knight. It would be such a better effect. Could you imagine Knight in the final, you know, getting second place, you know, not flipping any of those cards. He's banging Nani behind Kata's back. You know, that was Knight's role. I feel like Johnny again, by some weird luck and karma thing, ends up on that game as Knight's replacement and basically plays Knight's role, but not as good.
Not as good. Yeah, that could be. Yeah.
So, Knight's with Jemmy. Jemmy's good. I mean, she got okay. She was okay in Battle of Seasons. Again, she was with Knight. They got eliminated in the same episode. She comes back for Rivals 2, and she's with Camilla. They win 2 eliminations.
2 eliminations.
Yes.
Make it to the elimination right before the final.
No, they get to the final. But the final was created in a way where third place only got so far.
You're correct.
So, who knows? I think they'll get farther than usual. That's all I'll say.
I don't hold high hopes for them.
No. But
I don't
know.
know.
What, to me, Knight's good television. I don't know.
Yeah, he is.
I
no,
like
absolutely. Yep. In that regard, but
yeah, and that's why I say, like, had he been in
he's a veteran.
Johnny Riley with Knight, that would have been a better season. The final fucking couple I lost. Goddamn. Johnny and Avery.
I don't know much about Avery.
Yeah.
She was on the season of Real World. I think this is her first challenge.
Yes.
Johnny last season was a dude, just a dude.
Yeah,
Skated by. He didn't make a lot of waves. He didn't piss a lot of people off.
It was well played. Not good for television.
No, but challenge-wise,
yeah, challenge-wise, actually no, challenge-wise he did really well.
Yeah, he did really well. Yeah, I guess you're right.
He actually, I associated him with being just as good as Jessica. In terms of like the guy, like he won. I feel like he won 4 missions before anyone else did, like Zach and Bananas and CT. He was the most consistently winning guy, and so when I hear about him never flipping the kill card on the draw, I'm like, okay, but he also won a lot though. So I never really, I don't want to bash on him too bad. He's not.
I don't know enough about him. First season, I guess it's. We'll see. We didn't see him in an elimination round, so we don't know how he.
Yeah, that's true. What if we never see him in an elimination round on Battle of the Exes? What if he's the next Mark Long, where you never see him in an elimination round?
Is that the last? And Avery, we know nothing about.
Yeah.
No challenge.
He looks kind of hot, but that's about it. Like, who knows? You can't draw conclusions from that. They're all hot. Wouldn't it be great if like Wes won? Of course. Actually, out of all these people, though, who do you want to win? I mean, out of the list, okay, CT and Deem are out. Well, we have Bananas and Nani, Dustin, Jessica, Wes, Teresa, Zach, John A, Sarah Jordan, Leroy, Naya, Knight, Jemmy, Johnny Avery. You're going for Bananas again? 6th time?
I would say Bananas and Wes. I like both of them. I'd like to see both of them do well. Both their teams.
Wes wins. That's his.
I don't really care for Teresa either.
That's his 3rd win. Banana wins. That's his 6th win. He will never retire after this. If he wins a 6th fucking time,
I'd say the odds are stacked against him.
Nobody here is the surefire team.